Hayoo Mahsi, Naiga name Emma Battell Lowman, pi naiga chichako, ko ba hodnishoni pi anishnabe ilihi. Itsun naiga mithait King George ilihi kaba naiga tilakam. Hello everybody, my name is Emma Battell Lowman, and I am a settler Canadian from Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe territories. I'm speaking to you today from the United Kingdom, from the city of Leicester at the University of Leicester, and I'm reading the TRC report. The section I'll be reading is pages 283 to 285, and it's titled Church Healing and Reconciliation Projects. Beginning in the 1990s, the 4 settlement agreement churches began allocating specific funds for community-based healing and reconciliation projects. This work continued under the terms of the settlement agreement. Each of the defendant churches agreed to provide and manage funds specifically dedicated to healing and reconciliation. All the churches established committees, including Aboriginal representatives, to review and approve projects. In broad terms, the reconciliation projects funded by the settlement agreement churches have had 3 primary purposes. First, healing. The Toronto Urban Native Ministry, funded by Anglican and Roman Catholic churches and United Churches, reaches out to Aboriginal people on the street, in hospitals, in jails, shelters, and hostels. The ministry works with all Aboriginal people who are socially marginalized and impoverished, including survivors and intergenerational family members who have been impacted by residential schools. Anamia Wigoming Kenora Friendship Centre, with funds from the Presbyterian Church in Canada, developed a Step Up, Tools for the Soul, in partnership with local Aboriginal organizations. Under the program, a series of 10 teaching events led by Aboriginal elders, teachers, and professionals were held to support survivors and family members on their healing journey, featuring education about culture and tradition with the goal of fostering reconciliation. The second, language and culture revitalization. The Language Immersion Canoe course into Fino, British Columbia, funded by the United Church, focused on reconnecting Aboriginal youth to their homelands and their cultures. For 1 month, young Aboriginal people from Vancouver Island, including the community of Ahousaht, where the United Church operated a school, were taken to a remote and ancient Hesquiat village to learn the Hesquiat language through the art of canoe making. The 4-season cultural camps of the Serpent River First Nation in Ontario, funded by the Anglican Church, used traditional practices of harvesting, food storage, storytelling, and related ceremonies to promote language and culture. The Anglicans also supported a wilderness retreat for young people at Nibinamik First Nation at Summer Beaver, Ontario. They taught traditional lifeways while instilling a sense of self-confidence in the youth as they successfully completed activities in the camp. The third, education and relationship building. The Anglican and Roman Catholic churches still have relatively large numbers of Aboriginal members, so many of their initiatives focused on bringing their own Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal members together. The Anglican Church has worked to help build understanding and counter stereotypes among its members through anti-racism training. The Roman Catholic entities were among the core funders of the Returning to Spirit, residential school healing and reconciliation program. The program brings Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal participants together to gain new insights into the residential school experience and develop new communication and relationship building skills. The settlement agreement churches bear a special responsibility to continue to support the long-term healing needs of survivors, their families, and communities who are still struggling with a range of health, social, and economic impacts. The closure of the National Aboriginal Healing Foundation in 2014, when government funding ended, has led to a significant gap in funding for community-based healing projects. At the very time that healing for many individuals and communities is still just beginning, the churches must also continue to educate their own congregations and facilitate dialogue between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal peoples. Much has been accomplished through the healing and reconciliation projects of the settlement agreement churches, but more remains to be done. Hayoo Mahsi, thank you.